Designing new Volvo cars, exterior designer T. John Mayer translates the peacefulness of the Swedish nature into his work. Mark and Cherie from Volvo Cars Explorers meet him for a chat.
So now that you guys have been out exploring the Scandinavian nature scene today and doing different stuff, I can talk to you about how that inspires me as a designer when designing the cars. I've been at Volvo about 6 years. I'm an American, so I'm not a Swedish native. So very much coming to Sweden and experiencing the same feelings and emotions and experiences that you're having coming for the first time. It affects you as a designer being here in that situation. So there's 3 elements that kind of, for me, affect me designing while I'm here. And those 3 is, 1 is nature and being around the Swedish environment. 2 is the culture and the Swedish people and the kind of philosophy of the lifestyle here. And then 3 is the obvious Swedish design, Scandinavian design of furniture, products, fashion and whatnot.
What way have you used the Scandinavian environment to influence your design process?
The way the environment influences the design of the vehicles isn't literal in a sense where we walk by a rock and say, ooh, that rock is shaped like this, let's make a rock-inspired car. It doesn't really work like that. It's more of designing around the elements and the essence of nature. Now, being in Scandinavia, you're in an environment where you have a lot of land per person, in Sweden especially. So it's very often that you're alone in a vast space. And usually when you go to the woods, you are actually quite alone. And it's the serenity and that peacefulness and that calmness that you try to translate into your designs. So we often talk about that in the design department as being a bit more subtle with what line work we use on a vehicle or the amount of aggression we use in a car. Try to keep it quite calm and quite reserved, as it's a very peaceful type of environment. It's usually very quiet when you're alone. There's a lot of natural light. Being in Gothenburg, it's not always that you see the sun so much. So when you do, you kind of celebrate that. And we like to have that kind of light be shown in the vehicles as well. So we have things such a panoramic roof in the cabin, and we design the interior space in a way that lets you have as much space or breathing freedom in that area as possible. And it's the same on the exterior, not as cluttered space as other manufacturers might do with a lot of things going on, but it's kind of this serenity, this peacefulness throughout the design.
How can we adapt our design, Scandinavian design, to the global market?
When I came here about 6 years ago, Volvo started this transformation of this design philosophy led by Thomas Inglot, who came at that time as well. So we were really trying to move Volvo a bit upmarket to do this premium luxury feel. But it was always Scandinavian premium. We didn't call it just luxury, it was Scandinavian luxury. So doing that in a Scandinavian way, where it's affected by the culture that you're in. Now, of course, in China or the US, as an American coming from the US, luxury means more is more, bling bling, add some diamonds, add some chrome. That is not quite the Scandinavian philosophy. It's much more about blending in, much more about being reserved in the culture itself. Now, it comes down to actually quality of materials. Now, that is actually something that all cultures appreciate, and especially in Scandinavia. When you do a more simplistic design, it is the materials and the finish and the fit and finish that make a difference.